for beginners, make sure you have a source of income that you can fund your account with, meaning that you have your capital. Why I normally deposit what I want to risk is I started trading Forex last year, January. So to better my psychology, that I don't have to overtrade my account, or in case of new slippages, I don't lose more than I intended to lose on that trade. So it's just the same thing as you having $100,000 and risking 1% of it, which will be $1,000, I think, and you having depositing that $1,000 you want to risk into a separate account and then risking everything. Is that not the same thing? And then in a case where you deposit what you want to risk and target like a 1:3, 1:4 risk to reward ratio, and it clicks in profit, that is not flipping. You analyze the trade with a proper risk management and targeted what you want to target. Most people have this misconception that trading has to be done a particular set of way. I deposited $2,000 on Monday. My plan was to take it to $10,000, and I already achieved that. You see, if you go to my page, you see it's already at 10,000. I split that risk into 4 places: $500 per trade, $500 per trade. That is risking 25% of the account. Risk management is what you preconceive on risking in a trade, not a fixed risk. It's not 1% or 2%. If you're comfortable with depositing $10,000 and risking $10,000, that is your risk management. But because of this, I don't understand if it's the other generation of traders that have this misconception that trading has to be done a particular type of way, and it's actually limiting them to what they can actually do. Because if you notice now, more new traders are becoming more skilled than the older ones. Why? Because they take out time to understand concepts well, exact reversal points. Instead of believing that trading has to be done a particular set of way, forget all this advice from people. Focus on yourself first and know what works for you. I had to look into myself and know what works for me before I was able to devise my plans on how to trade. It's what works for you, and it's not a general thing. So that's just what I have to say. It's not flipping.
Thank you very much for what you said. Dr. Dean, do you have anything to say?
All right, I wouldn't say much. For me, when I came on this platform, I had a basic understanding that I wanted to see the transition. I can only bear witness to what I've seen. God knows that I've visually tried to show you guys on how to, scale up and do that transition. But the fundamental problem is this, that there is no guarantee that, I know how Nigeria's economy is very tough. It's very, very similar to Ghana, okay, when I was living in Ghana. And the fact is that money is difficult to come by. And there is no guarantee that the $200 you are risking would escalate to 5,000, 10,000. There's no guarantee, is there? In fact, you can try 10 times and blow it, right? But for a newbie, my concentration was on a newbie. And if you listen to my statement, I made mention of like $1,000, $500 to $1,000 minimum, right? Where you'll be able to risk at least 1% so that you don't end up blowing your capital. So if you are doing $200 in batches of 5, it doesn't mean the first one that you blow, the second one would actually flip to $10,000 or $5,000. There's no guarantee about that. Even to flip money from $200 to $10,000, it's a skill. So in that conversation, it's not even a newbie conversation. For a newbie to even, I felt that a newbie, we shouldn't even entertain this conversation for a newbie. Yeah. I feel that $200 to $5,000 was a bit on the high. And even beyond that, it doesn't reflect in a way that would help the beginner, because as I said, there's no guarantee that if I reach $200, I lose it, I go back again, I have $1,000, I split them into 5, then I try to compound it to $10,000 a week or 2 or a month. There's no guarantee. I might end up equally blowing the $1,000, which I've divided into $200 in 5 parts. Obviously, Tony is a skilled trader. He knows his way around. But what of the newbie? The fact of the matter is that I am looking at the long-term sustainable future in terms of the future growth of the trader, not necessarily what you have to eat today. Because what you have to eat today, if it's not replicable, if you can't repeat it, what happens is that you will go broke. It's better you work, get your $1,000, take your time, risk 1% per trade over the period of 1 year, have very fantastic results, keep your drawdown under 10%, get your return around 25-30%, and trust you me, you are on your way to becoming a rock star. If you can scale it up, if you can scale that performance up equally, you are going to get investors. So I'm not here to debate anybody. Far from it. I'm only here to actually help and encourage that transition into the professional space. There is nowhere in the world where someone has traded his own personal account and has become a billionaire before. It's never happened anywhere in the world. I'm speaking to the facts. The billionaires I know and the billionaires I know of, they leveraged on their trading skill to become millionaires and billionaires. So I was talking about the betterment and the more realistic approach, which is scalable, which can help you to, increase your base in terms of, your returns and your general well-being as a trader. There are two ways to life, but it's not all. That's the right. You can choose. But I thank God for one thing, that God should grant us long life. Maybe what I'm saying today, you won't understand me. But maybe in the next 5 years, take your track record and ask yourself how many times you're able to flip $200 to $10,000 or $5,000. And ask yourself that if you took your time within that 5-year period, okay, to hold all the monies that you've blown over 5 years trying to flip and compound, okay, by 5,000% or 2,000%, at the end of the day, if you save that money and you're able to trade more conservatively, what would have been the result for you? You would have gotten a track record, your self-confidence will not be damaged, your emotional trauma will be in check, and then at least you can trade in peace. Added to it, you can get investors who can actually, buy your service. You can leverage it and start making $10,000, $100,000, $1 million per annum. That is the kind of growth I'm advocating for.